just emailed me.
Nice.
I've never emailed Jim Scholl before. Like,
He's never emailed me.
retired Imagineer Jim Scholl just emailed me out of nowhere. Nowhere. What?
That's good. Let's see. Facebook.
Apparently, I'm on the Disney Dish team now.
Nice.
I guess. I
Like
don't know.
that. Breaking news.
Just now.
One more button here. X.com. All right. There we go. I used your picture for the video for Red Sea. Okay.
So. And then I have another I can send you really quickly. I took it yesterday. I have my name tag framed and sitting on my desk in my office. I just sent that to you.
Oh, that's super cool. 2802. Oops, hang on. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Oh, that is awesome. Gosh, that is the coolest.
Oh, yeah. And the frame came from Glendale.
Really?
Yeah, they sell them for like $30 online, and so.
That is super cool. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, that is super cool. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Okay, so we'll just talk about your whole experience here. So let's get cracking. Yeah. Tell some stories. All right, so this is 2802. Monday. Okay, this will be the Monday before Thanksgiving. Okay. Welcome to episode 2802 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend and an early happy Thanksgiving to all of our friends here in the States. Of course, we will be here on Wednesday with more of your listener questions. So don't fret. We have one more get together before we eat the big turkey and have all the stuffing and all the sides. I like the turkey, but I'm more of a sides guy myself. So that's just where I stand on that. But if you have questions, get them in. Mike at BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Time to get that on this week's show at this point. But today we're switching it up a little bit. Not really a trip report. Well, I guess you could consider it a long-term trip report. I mean, like a super long, awesome, everybody's kind of dream trip report. I know I would have thought this was pretty cool back in the day, but now I'm old and crusty and missed out. And there's a lot of us in this boat, but we have a friend of the show, Ella, coming back. She's been on the show before. We're going to get to talk to her down in North Carolina. Ella, happy Thanksgiving to you a little bit early. What's going on down in North Carolina today?
Happy Thanksgiving. Well, I'm in grad school right now, so I do a lot of homework.
That is correct. And I know you are like doing super complicated stuff, more than like somebody that had a master's degree in elementary education could comprehend, because that's why I went into elementary ed, because, it wasn't super difficult. You just had to tame kids, tolerate them. It wasn't hard. 6th grade math. You're doing a lot higher than 6th grade math.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like what before we jump into, we're going to talk about your college program and the experiences you had down there. So grad school, like what are you studying down there?
Yeah, so I'm a first-year PhD student in operations research at NC State. It's pretty much all math classes right now, and later on I'll be doing research in queuing theory.
So you're basically, let's just call it what it is for folks here in the Disney community. You're like a Len Testa protege at this point, I'm guessing.
Yes.
I mean, we know your dad, Dr. Kai. Like, I could not be a bigger fan of your dad's. He's just amazing to us, supports our show, and has been a friend forever. I remember walking through Epcot with him one.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Just disappeared. Oh, I'm back. What's going on here? But okay, so studying that, because I've been listening to Len forever, since back in the WDW Today days when he explained the processes of how the unofficial guide puts things together and the traveling salesman theory and how they,
Hmm.
talk about how there's an optimal way to see the attractions at the Magic Kingdom and so forth. What got you interested in that? I'm curious about that before we dive into the college program, like because it's so complicated. Like I just kind of throw up my hands and say, "Ah, I'll just look at touring plans and trust them." But I mean, you're like diving into the nuts and bolts of it. So what
Hmm.
what makes it interesting to you?
I mean, I've always been interested in math and statistics, and pretty much this was kind of just applying that to going to theme parks, which is something that I love doing.
So studying that though, what like it your level, obviously there's probably not classes. Maybe I'm wrong though, because I don't know this. I love learning things like this. You're studying statistics at such a high level and you want to study like queuing theory, but like when you take classes, obviously it's probably on math theory, but how specific does it get to theme parks, or is it more like like distribution systems, or like how theoretical does it get like down to a theme park level? Do you have to do that
Mhm.
yourself, or how does that work?
Yeah. So here, um, most of the classes are taught at a more general level, but it's stuff that can be applied to all sorts of different things. But I know there are places such as Furman University, which actually do apply it to theme parks.
Super cool. Now Len actually did some studying down in that area, correct? Because he's from North Carolina, right?
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm
Nice.
not 100% sure where he's from, but he's from somewhere around here. Sure.
I yeah, I always listen to him. I know he was there at some point and he did some studying down there. So I was wondering if like, and you've actually worked for Len, and I think you still are, and like you do some.
Mhm.
So is he kind of a mentor of yours and kind of helping you along your way, like with your studies?
Very much so. Mhm.
That's what's that like? I mean, because we're all friends of we're all fans of Len, and he's a good guy.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, but he goes
Yeah, he is.
112 miles an hour. Like, how do you keep up?
Um, um, everyone at Touring Plans has been great about just kind of letting me work mainly during school breaks, mhm,
That-
which has made it a lot easier for me to kind of keep doing stuff with them while I'm in school. I'm in school.
That's awesome.
School.
It
Mhm.
I love it. I can't imagine though the energy in the room, I guess you could say, when it comes to, the amount of data that they have, and then
Oh
how
yeah.
you crunching it and
Mhm.
saying, "Okay, well, let's look at this. Like, how can we look at this a different way? Like, what is this telling us?" And especially nowadays with how dynamic things are with lightning lanes and Disney
Mhm.
changing things as often as they do. I mean, is that I don't want to get into anything they do, but I mean, what's the most interesting thing before we again, I want to talk about the college program, but
Mhm.
like what's the most interesting thing to you right now in the theme parks as far as statistics? Like, is there something that intrigues you? Like, is it lightning lane usage or park hours?
Mhm.
What's interesting?
Mhm. So all of the work I've been doing is more on the forecasting side, which is used to predict wait times. And so with that, um, I've looked at more seasonality and park hours mainly.
So let me ask you this, like just one more thing on that. Like if you could
Mhm.
give our listeners one piece of advice, besides obviously
Oh
getting there
man. Okay.
45 minutes early, rope
Yep.
drop. I mean, that's pretty smart. Is there something you've learned that's
Oh.
kind of a little hidden gem
Yeah.
for
Okay.
listeners that could help
Um.
them?
Yeah. I have one which is get to Peter Pan's flight about 45 to 50 minutes after the park opens.
That's random. I love
Yeah.
that. Dude, that's crazy. Why is
Yeah.
that? Why
Mhm.
why why that window?
Mhm. Um. Mhm. But so for all of my undergraduate research I did, that was the main takeaway from it. Um, so pretty much all of your wait times. in the first hour will be kind of strictly increasing. Um, but we found that with Peter Pan, there was the most noticeable post rope drop crowd dip in wait times compared to other attractions. And the lowest point in that dip occurred about 45 to 50 minutes after the park opened.
That is so crazy. I love this stuff. Like, that's weird. Like, to me, that's so wild. Like, okay, so everybody rushes it, and then it just has a little bit of a lull there,
Mm-hmm.
almost an hour into the day. Like, why? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I mean, is there a theory as to why that is? Do you guys ever go like that far and say, like people like to rush it at first and then everybody heads to Haunted Mansion or, a nearby attraction. Everybody goes across the way to Small World. I mean, obviously, maybe not. Is there a
Yeah.
theory as to why this happens?
It's a lot of people going to Seven Dwarfs first
Right. Yeah.
and doing things kind of nearby. But there's also the crowd that goes to Peter Pan first. And so it's kind of the people who are after the Peter Pan first crowd, but before most of the crowd from Seven Dwarfs finishes.
It's a good. Oh god, it makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, now you say it that way, it totally makes sense. It's like the early
Mhm.
birds first,
Yep.
and then it's going to take this Seven Dwarfs people a little bit of time to actually get through the queue, the attraction, and then
Mhm.
they're going to rush. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I got you. I'm going to be there at 8:45 or
Yep.
whatever time that day. I'll be like, guess what? I'm not waiting as long as everybody else because Ella
Mhm.
told me it's time to get on because I don't buy lightning lanes. I'm cheap. Oh, there we go. I love this. Okay, so that's perfect. It's a great introduction to what you're doing. I love it. We just got a thumbs up from somebody. Yes, there you go. You saved you $10 or probably $30
Mhm.
for going at Christmas. Who knows? All right, so there you go. You become a patron. That'll get you 6 months worth of patronage on our show. So let's talk about your college program though, because I think that's what everybody's curious about.
Yep.
Whether thinking about doing it, if you're younger, if you wish you could have done it, and you're a little bit older.
Mhm.
Like, when did you start to think about doing the college program, and kind of how did you find out about it, and how did it like the idea start for you?
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know exactly when I first heard about it, but I've known about it for a long time. I guess that my dad probably told me sometime, but like whenever I was even starting college, I knew that I wanted to do it at some point. And pretty early on, because I was in the honors program at UARC, um, I was kind of told by the honors college to wait until after I graduate to do it. And so I did. So my plan originally was to graduate in the spring and then do the short summer program just to get it in there because you have 2 years after you graduate to do it.
Mhm.
Um, and then go to grad school in the fall. But I realized that I was able to graduate early. So instead, I graduated in December and then did my program in the spring semester, which was much better weather-wise than summer.
Yes,
hmm
good call.
And hmm yeah, and then I finished up in May and then took the summer to travel a little bit, relax, and then start grad school.
That's good call. And by the way, let me just say, because when the show comes out, we're in rivalry week for football, Mizzou, Arkansas this week. So
hmm
in Missouri,
Yep.
it's Arkansas hate week, which is ironic that we have a Razorback here and a
Mhm.
Tiger
My
on
Razorback cup tonight,
I
which
know, I mean, my Mizzou stuff is real. I know this is ironic, but we love each other here. It's just,
Yep.
I mean, on the football field, we're invading Fayetteville this weekend, and we're gonna go
Mhm.
come out with a W. If we don't, it's sad because Arkansas has lost almost every game this year, but it's gonna be
We
okay.
have.
We
Mhm.
lose, I'll be
Yeah.
I'll be a mess.
Yep.
Okay, so so I'm just saying I love this, but no, I know because you're brilliant. Like you graduated early, so let's talk about, because here's I think something that really help people out that are thinking about this,
Mhm,
because I see it, I don't know exactly, again, because I haven't done this myself, but like the season of the college program applications, and you see, people
mhm,
get posting their congratulations, you got in, and some people get disappointed because they don't. What's the application process like in the selection? Because I know that's a big deal. So, like, what was that like applying, and then maybe some tips for folks to
mhm.
best chances to get in?
Yeah, so the application is a online form. It was pretty short, to be honest. Um, and then afterwards, you do a phone interview, and the person who does that is really who determines mm, your acceptance. Um, and then also on that phone interview, they will kind of try and gauge what roles you would be best for. Mhm. Mhm, um, but so I'll say based on my phone interview, um, definitely just let your personality shine through. Don't try to be too professional, and don't try to be too just sort of happy bubbly. Just kind of put it somewhere in the middle so that your recruiter can kind of get both sides. Both sides.
I wonder
Mhm,
how I would be, because I'm pretty bubbly as it is, but
mhm,
I don't know. I mean, this is how I am all the time. Like, I mean, I don't just
mhm.
come in here. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
always talk with this kind of a voice all the time, but I mean, I do sometimes, just to annoy my wife. I mean, it's just she's like, stop. But I,
Mhm,
it's so funny though, because I guess they are
mhm.
kind of assessing like where would you best be suited
Yeah.
at Walt Disney World I
Mhm.
guess for guest experience, right? And
Yeah,
and
exactly.
but then
Mhm.
I
But
would
you also
imagine
have to
though,
be professional enough,
to fill that
mm,
role, right?
just to be offered a job in general. Mhm,
True, true. But I mean, as an individual though,
mhm.
you get to put your preferences as to what roles you would like to
Yes,
have. So then I guess the two
somewhat.
kind of have to meet. So how does that work? Because you do like say, I would like to be maybe custodial or hotel
Mhm,
or attractions or
mhm,
merch or so
mhm.
like you get to, and then so tell us
Yeah.
about that. Like how does the
Mhm,
role get assigned in the end?
mhm. Yeah, so I'll say on the online application, um, it basically kinda goes through every role category, and and then for all of them except for the biggest 3, you can say that you're not interested in that role. But the biggest 3 being quick service food and beverage, housekeeping, and custodial, mm, you are not allowed to say, "No, I don't want that."
Oh, okay.
Mhm, and I'll say and then on the phone interview, you are asked what your top 3 choices would be, um, and based on my phone interview, I got asked a bunch of questions that were PhotoPass specific. And so at the end of my phone interview, I was thinking that I might be placed in PhotoPass. Um, but really at the end of the day, if there was no specific role the recruiter thought you would be just the best for, it's really just wherever they need you.
Makes sense.
And mhm. And so and so whenever I got my kind of acceptance email, I was originally in housekeeping.
I remember
Mhm.
that. I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, good, because now you say that, I totally remember that now, because where you were ultimately you
Mhm.
weren't. But okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly. Mhm.
tell us about getting the acceptance and finding out you're in housekeeping. I mean, and let's be honest,
Mhm.
I mean, this is in the past at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause, there's happiness, sometimes there's a little
Mhm.
disappointment. I mean,
Yeah.
were you disappointed? Were you excited? Were you like, what was I mean, you're probably
Yeah,
super
so
excited, stoked to be
mhm.
accepted. I mean, tell us what was on?
Yeah, I was definitely excited to be accepted, but housekeeping was definitely the role that I wanted the least.
I can see that. I mean, I wouldn't know
Mhm.
what to do. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'd be lost.
Yeah, mhm, and pretty much as we got closer to it, I was kind of focusing more on the positive aspects of it, being the costume, being in the resorts, which I love. I was supposed to be at Old Key West. Mhm.
Nothing
Um,
wrong with that. I love Okiwa. And, Wade's son, worked in resorts, and he loved it. So, yeah,
mhm.
I think the open mind thing is probably the best way to go too, but go ahead.
Yeah, it really is. Mhm. But for a few roles, you do have to do a physical test, and mm, mm, and a part of that was kind of giving your medical history. I've had a few kind of problems, so So it was actually 2 days before traditions, which is your first day kind of class you take. I got a call saying that I was being transferred. And I was like, oh, well, to where? Because kind of in the acceptance, you don't pick your role, it gets assigned to you. Um, and the guy on the phone said, well, the only thing we have open is quick service food and beverage. Where do you want? And so I had the very, very rare experience of actually getting to pick my role. And he asked me park or resort, and I picked resort. And mhm, and there were about 6 places with openings, beaches being one of them. And the second he said that, I was super
Yeah.
excited to be there. Um, and that's how it happened. And then I ended up getting a last minute ADR for beaches that night and went that night.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I say you hit
to
the
meet
jackpot.
people.
I gotta give you the bell because if they'd have said that, I'd be like, "Yes, yes, sir. I'll take beaches and cream over,"
Hmm.
because working at
Yeah.
the resorts would have been fun, but I mean, it'd have been really, I'd imagine, pretty physically demanding, and, but I mean, any,
Hmm.
like, experience you're gonna have, like, because 'cause you're gonna meet people, you're gonna get to
Hmm.
be behind the scenes, you're gonna be part of the magic, that's awesome, but I mean, working at beaches and cream, I think that'd be
Hmm.
super
Oh
cool.
yeah, it was
Somebody
amazing. I loved it there. I loved it
Oh,
there.
like, I just love that
Hmm.
place 'cause you're gonna see all the guests and, like, it's
Yep.
more you're gonna be in the, up close with guests,
Hmm.
more, so I'd be like,
Yeah.
that'd be super excited. Um, so, so let me so how did they notify you just via email, though, when you get accepted? I mean, is it and I mean, I'm sure, like,
Yes.
you and your
Yeah.
dad were super excited, though, on that, right? Just like,
Hmm. Hmm.
boom, you're in.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yep,
so,
it is. It's just an email.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
And you
Okay,
have to
so I
get on
gotta
work day and do a bunch of forms and little tasks. Confirm
so
day.
traditions, did they let you teach traditions to your fellow college program people? Because they should have.
No, no, they did not. They did not. I would say I don't know how much new information I learned in traditions. It's definitely been trimmed down a lot. I know used to it was 2 days. Now it's 4 hours. Four
I
hours.
know.
Hmm. Hmm.
What a
But yeah, most of traditions is kind of teaching you a little bit over the history of the company, and it has a big focus on teaching you the 5 keys.
yes.
5 keys. Mhm.
Which we know. It's obviously, like, safety and all the show
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah,
So,
safety, courtesy, inclusion, show, and efficiency.
yes.
In that order. In that order.
See, I love see, again, they should have let you teach class. Oh, okay. So, okay, so you go through traditions, you're like,
Mhm.
"This is all," but I mean, as a Disney fan, it's just awesome to say you've gone through tradition. That's why I
Yeah,
think
it is.
folks like us would do the college program, right? To be,
Mhm.
to get the whole experience. Okay, so you do that.
Mhm.
How's the training, though? Like, it on site for, like, when you go to Beaches and Cream? Okay,
Mhm.
like, I mean, I'm not trying to say like it's the same, but I spent like 3 weeks when I was younger. I worked at
Mhm.
Chick-fil-A at the mall during Christmas. Longest 3 weeks of my life because I mostly, when I was younger, I worked at a skating rink, just sitting in a DJ booth playing music and drinking sodas and eating hot dogs. So that
Mhm.
was way easier. I decided I was gonna get like 25 cents an hour more and work at Chick-fil-A. That was the worst decision ever because that was the hardest 3 weeks I ever worked. Chick-fil-A during
Mhm.
Christmas. It was a nut house. But you got to learn all the Chick-fil-A rules, right? I
Mhm.
mean, because they're efficient because they do everything like the right way. I'm sure it
Mhm.
was kind of the same thing with your training, right? They show you like how everything's done. I mean, is the training pretty strict? I mean,
Mhm.
was it exciting like on site as far as beaches and cream and stuff
Mhm.
like that?
Mhm. Yeah, so my first day was ops training, which is just kind of everyone who works under the operations, where they talk about safety, some of the codes which are used, and just how the five keys relate to operations. And then my next day, I went over to DU and did food training, which is mostly just kind of like like video online trainings about food safety. And that was most of my day. And then I had like a few days break, I think. And then afterwards, I started my on-site training, um, which was a week. Um, so normally, your first day is your property tour day. Um, mhm, which my favorite resort is yacht. So like that day was just so much fun for me.
I
So much fun
bet.
for me. Uh-huh. But mhm, um but actually I had that day second for some reason. Mhm. And so mhm, mhm. So your training is mainly one or two positions per day, and beaches has about six or seven positions. Um there is the cedar. Um, so pretty much the what's considered quick service at Beaches and Cream, which is the only true hybrid table service quick service restaurant. So for quick service, we do everything except for wait tables.
I was thinking about that because you kept saying quick service, and I'm thinking
Yeah,
Beaches and Cream's table service. Like I
exactly.
was thinking about that a few
Hmm.
minutes ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
I said you got quick service restaurant. I'm
Hmm.
thinking
Yeah.
Beaches.
The to-go window
Okay.
is considered quick service.
See now,
Hmm.
you were confusing me there for a second, Alex. I'm thinking
Hmm.
she's pulling a fast one on
Hmm.
me. I sit down at the counter when I go there all
Hmm.
the time. Okay. Now I
Hmm.
got
Uh-huh.
it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Um,
continue. Because I was
mhm,
okay. I
mhm,
was like, am I losing my mind here? Because
uh-huh.
somebody serves me there
Mhm.
every time I go.
Yep. But yep, so for quick service, we do greeter and seater for the table service, which is unheard of at any other quick service location. And we work the cash register for the to-go window. We make all the ice cream for the to-go window, and we make all of the ice cream for the in-house orders as well.
So you make the kitchen sinks.
Yes.
We'll save it. We'll save it because there's something cool. I know because I got to see the video. Um,
Mhm.
okay, so because that's why we got to keep people tuned in. That's what you
Mhm.
do on a good podcast. We've done 2,800 shows. So, okay, so you're doing that. So, because we're gonna make sure we get this all in like 45, 50 minutes. But
Yeah.
like, what were some of the highlights of working at Beaches and Cream? I mean, this is one of those places that is just a darling location. I mean, it's been for
Mhm.
2 decades. Like when I started going and I looked at a burn bombs guide, this is one of the very first places I saw before I
Mhm.
even knew, like, listen to podcasts or anything. Before I knew anything about anything, I saw a picture in a burn bombs guide of, ooh, it's a little soda fountain. I got to go there. I knew nothing, but I wanted to go to Beaches
Yeah.
and Cream, and you got to work in this place. So, like, what memories do you have of your time there? Like, any stories, any fun times there?
Trying to think. Definitely like um making kitchen sinks is one. It does take forever.
I bet.
Um, it takes a few minutes to make one. There was one time I had three kitchen sinks back to back,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm trying to think. There was one time. It was actually right around then. I did a Neapolitan kitchen sink, which in my 4 months there, I had seen ordered once and I only made one once, and the leader who was there that night was like reading me the recipe like standing behind me with the recipe card because I don't think anyone just knows the Neapolitan kitchen sink recipe. The kitchen sink recipe.
So, so real quick, what goes into a kitchen sink? Do you still remember?
Yeah, so it's 2 scoops vanilla, 2 scoops chocolate, 2 scoops strawberry, 1 scoop mm, Oreo, 1 scoop mint, and then it's the fruity toppings, which are pineapple, strawberry, and a whole banana, and then caramel, and then the Snickers topping, and then hot fudge, peanut butter, and a whole can of whipped cream.
Oh,
It's a whole can. It's a whole can. And then on top there is a whole one of the shortcakes split into four. There's a whole brownie split into four. There's 4 Oreos. There's 4 orange slices. And the kitchen sink topping mix, which has rainbow sprinkles, chocolate chips, and just chocolate shavings. That goes on there. And then it's chocolate syrup, marshmallow syrup, and a handful of cherries.
God bless America. Those things are so good. But I
Mhm.
mean, I'll say, I know, I'm an experienced kitchen sink eater. I've had a couple. No, you got to do them with people. Like, you got to do them with your
Oh,
crew. Like, these are not
mhm.
meant to be single
Yeah,
shot.
I was like, the one time someone did order one by themselves,
Oh,
it
what
was
are they doing?
talk of the place for like 2 days. The
Yeah.
talk of-
Did you warn them? Like, did the waiter or waitress, like, are you kidding me? Like, do you know this
I would
thing is gonna
assume
be,
so.
yeah,
I
like,
remember I was greeting or I was either greeter or seater whenever that happened. Or I was seating. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'd say you're crazy, but you're gonna walk out of here a legend.
Yeah, he did not finish it, but he got really, really close.
Oh my god. Like your
Mhm.
picture on the wall after this. You might not walk out of here, but your picture's gonna be on the wall. Okay. Yeah. So the thing is you gotta dig in quick because once it melts, it's kind of gross.
Mhm.
You gotta get it before it
Yep.
starts. You gotta
Yep.
hammer, but you gotta get brain freeze too. So it hurts a
Mhm.
little bit. It's kind of like Toy Story Mania. You just gotta battle through the pain. You just gotta eat that thing, but it's
Mhm.
so good. Oh my gosh, I need ice cream so
Mhm.
bad right now. You're
Mhm.
killing. But I mean, one of the things, and I know that you got excited was when, I mean, and I guess this is like a big deal for the servers is when you get to bring out and woo, woo,
Yep.
woo, do the light and everything. Cause when somebody orders a
Mhm.
kitchen sink, it's not just like, hey, we're bringing this out to your table. It's a performance. It's like a
Mhm.
ceremony, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's it's a pretty big deal. I'll say that's almost always the servers who do that. Servers who do that. But very occasionally someone else will. And mhm. and I actually got to one time. It was whenever Lentesta came, and his server had me do it.
That is super. Yeah. Cause you sent me the
Mhm.
video. You're like, I got to serve a kitchen sink to Len test. I'm like, this is epic on like 7 levels.
Mhm.
And so not only is he getting a kitchen sink, it's Len and Ella's bringing, and the lights are going. It's dark. The red, siren lights going. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is the best. This is the best. I was like, it was. I mean, probably not late at night, but I was just like, this is so
And
cool.
that was it. It was lunch shift. It
Oh
was,
yeah, I can't remember. It was like I
mhm.
was like, this is the coolest. So, um, okay, so shifting gears, I want to ask because again, I want to get all this Excel just so people
Yeah.
can use the resource on the line. So, housing for college program when you're down there,
Mhm.
like, tell us about that because, like, where do you stay and like you stay with roommates and how does that all work out?
Mhm. Yeah, so cast housing, um, it's right, or it's technically on property, but it's right outside the main gate on Western Way. Um, it's yeah, it's these two giant apartment complexes, which have I want to say 10,000 people total.
Wow.
They're really big. Um, mhm, and there are buses there which go to every different location on property to get you there. I did drive down to Florida, and having a car was very nice because it gave me a lot more freedom in that I could go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted to, and not have to rely on a bus to get there. Mhm.
Yeah, I'd imagine
And the
that is.
buses sometimes drop you off in random backstage locations.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, if I could have a car, we're from like areas like in the Midwest where we're just used to having a car. I'd
Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
you come from like New York City, like it's probably not a big deal to ride a bus everywhere because like people that
yeah.
use
Hmm.
that kind of transportation all the time, like that's what we do. But I mean, if
Hmm.
you're from suburbia, like you're used to taking a
Oh,
car.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I would.
But yeah, so about 80% of the apartments are what's called a two by two, where it's four people, two bedrooms, two bathrooms, with a kitchen and a living room. And so most people do have a roommate in the same room. And I was lucky enough to be in a four by two, which is four bed, two bath. And there are very, very few four by four, which is four bed, four bath. But so before you kind of get down there, um, you are able to put in housing requests, and during that, you can choose to link with someone, and I did. We had not met in person yet. It was mostly random. We'd had one 30-minute phone call and said, "Sure, let's be roommates." It's, mhm,
It's just like college, basically. I mean,
it
seriously.
is. It is. Hmm. Yeah, and and so originally we were in a two by two, um, mhm, at West. Mhm. But we were moved into a 4 by 2 in the East Complex. And the East Complex is the one where all of your college program classes and most of the events are held at. Mhm.
Nice. So more convenient for everybody.
It really is. People say that West is, quieter a little bit, but East was not crazy loud, I'll say.
Okay.
I've lived in
I
louder
go for quiet.
places.
I was gonna say I go for quieter, but I mean I'm also older now at this point. Like back in
Mhm,
the day,
yeah.
yeah, go for it. I
Yeah,
don't.
I've lived in some pretty loud places, so East was quieter compared to those.
Yeah, back in the day, I mean, 'cause I when I went to college, I stayed at home. Like I was still here going. I went to Missouri Baptist and down the highway about 25 miles and commuting every day. But I lived at space when I taught at Space Camp. I lived at University of Alabama, Huntsville, and I used to
Mhm.
climb out my window to play sand volleyball every night. So let's go. So yeah, we've been fine. I mean, I had sand all over my floor in that place because there was a sand volleyball pit right outside my window, and I just
Oh.
crawled in and out every single night. We played sand volleyball. Yeah, it was best couple summers of my life. Anyway, so yeah, it was good. So let me ask you about like so obviously work hard, play hard kind of thing too. I know that you had
Yep.
friends down there. What kind of stuff do you guys do to socialize when you're not in there? Obviously, you get to go to the parks, which is the huge
Mhm.
perk
Yeah,
there.
so mhm,
How do you like enjoy the parks as a college program person?
mhm. Yeah, so my average, I'll say week. So my average day, I so normally I would work in the evenings. Normally I would do 4 to 10 was early. Um, I would either work then or 6:30 to close, and our closing shift time was 12:30, but whenever we finish closing, which normally was a little before 12:30, but sometimes it'd be after, just depends. Um,
I can't believe people come in and like start eating at 10:30 at Walt Disney World. Like that just
yeah.
shocks me.
Hmm. I've
Unbelievable.
I've done that before. Before.
People do that. I know people do all
Before.
the time. Like
Mhm.
ADR at 10:30. Like, what are you
I
doing?
do that. Mhm. But yeah, very rarely I would work 5 to 11. Mhm. But normally I would drive and park in the Yacht and Beach Cast parking. And I'll say for the first part of my college program, I did wash my own costumes, but after I got deployed, I stopped doing that. Um, and costuming closed at about 2 most days. Um, um, mm, so I would drive to our cast parking lot, and then I would go in backstage and pick up a costume if I needed to, which most places costuming is not at your actual location. Just Yacht and Beach, it happens to be that everything is contained within one building, which is not normal, but very convenient.
Nice. I had no
Hmm.
idea. I thought it was like just one building for like all of Walt Disney World. Like you had to go to some building and that's where like everybody's costume was, and then you just went.
No,
I
no.
had I had no idea how this. Yeah, I
There's
love.
normally, it's pretty much one building for each park. Um, and then resorts, it kind of depends on what they're close to. So, like, all of the Skyliner resorts share a costuming, but whereas Yacht and Beach, it's kind of a little more by itself. So, costuming is actually in the building.
Huh, that's
Hmm.
super. See, I
And
love.
then I, and then I would go to Epcot and I would pick a food booth for the festival and get one of each food item, and that was my lunch. Hmm.
I mean, that's why
Hmm.
you're there.
Oh yeah, and then I would mill about in Epcot doing whatever.
I love it. So, and your
Hmm.
dad came down to visit
And
quite a bit too because he obviously was
yeah,
super
he
proud of you. I
did
mean, that gave him an
in.
excuse to come down quite a bit.
Hmm. But oh, and then on my like, mhm, but yes, so normally I worked 5 days a week, and on my days off, on my laundry day, I would, do laundry and go to Cast Connections, which is the cast only store. Part of it is the property control, where it's all sorts of random things. You really never know what you'll find. I found all sorts of things over there, and it's really inexpensive. I found a gigantic box of Christmas ornament dinosaurs for $20, and I knew that it came from Dino Land, so I bought it, and now I have a giant box of little dinosaurs.
Stuff you don't need, but you gotta buy. Like, you don't need it, but you
Yeah,
you know, I
exactly.
I've actually been there because I had a friend who was a seasonal cast member, and she took me there on one of the trips, like, this was, again, 20 years ago, and,
Mhm.
again, I walked away with a name tag that I guess somebody lost, like, a cast member name tag that said
Mhm.
Mike, but it was back
Wow.
like, again, 20 some years ago where it didn't say, like, where you were from, you had to give your favorite character, and so it
Mhm.
says Mike, and under it says Aladdin. So my favorite character is Aladdin, but it's I was like a
Mhm.
buck. I was like, I gotta have a name tag.
Mhm.
I'm Mike that likes Aladdin now. But it was, yeah, it was
Mhm.
great. It was
Oh
random
yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah. I bought all sorts of things there. I have quite a few shirts and sweatshirts I got for really good deals, and it's like, you can't not, and things get switched out so often. Um, um, mm, mhm. So I went there every week, and then for dinner on those nights, I would go to a different resort. And so at this point, I have been to every single resort table service except for Cake Bake, Flying Fish, Narcoossee's, California Grill, and Victoria and Albert's.
Wow. Okay, I've not been to any of those except for I think I've
Mhm.
been to Narcoossee's. I get Narcoossee's and the other one at Grand Floridian
Citricos?
Citricos. I think maybe I've been to
Mhm.
Citricos.
Citricos is the one that's upstairs by Victoria and Albert's.
Nope, not been to that one. I've been to Narcoossee's
Mhm.
then, because Scott
Yeah,
took
I went
me.
to Citricos with my aunt and uncle one day, and
Okay.
that was on a whim. They came to visit me, and we were gonna go to Captain Cook's, and as I was driving there, they switched the plan. I was like, "Oh, I'm not dressed for Citricos because I'd
I was gonna
been in
say,
the park for 3 hours." I was like, "Okay,
that's quite
okay."
the change. Captain Crooks or
Oh yeah, it
Citricos.
really was. Oh yeah, it was. It was. I was all sweaty in my t-shirt and shorts, and I was like, "I'm not dressed for Citricos, but I guess I'm going to Citricos."
Uh,
Citricos.
Hey, I mean,
Yes,
winning the Grand Floridian, win on the
exactly.
monorail loop, just go for it, I mean, I'm sure they
Exactly. I'd been in Animal Kingdom for a few hours. I was like, okay, okay.
one time, a whole bunch of us from the podcast went to 1900 Park Fair. We looked destroyed because we were in the Magic Kingdom all day. We said we're going to go back to the hotel and clean up. We stayed too long, and then a thunderstorm came along and just tore us up. And we were going to miss our ADR, so we just went right over. I mean, we looked like
Mhm.
refugees when we walked into that place. We know, and they took, and that was back in the day. This was before COVID. They took your picture on the way in. Like, remember, I think they still do this at Chef
It was
Mickey's.
with
Like when
yep.
you go in, they take your picture. I was like,
Mhm.
we didn't buy it. We should have bought the picture. Like, I don't know why we didn't because we looked so destroyed. But we know they took that picture and hung it back in the kitchen. Like, look at these poor people. Like, the Magic Kingdom destroyed this family or this group of friends, and now they've come here for their last meal. Like, they're here just to have a little magic before life takes them away in like 90 minutes because Magic Kingdom has wiped them out. I mean, it's really destroyed them. It was
Wow.
so bad. Um, so I've been
Oh,
there.
and
Yeah,
then
Floridian.
on my other day a week, I would just go to a park and have fun. I would do whatever.
That's that's so good. And I mean, did it seem to go by quickly or like because I know
It
some people do
did.
the program twice, they extend. I mean, what advice
Hmm.
did you have there?
Yeah, so a lot of people end up extending. It definitely went by quickly for me. I had some travel planned over the summer. I think I had about 3 trips planned, all back to back. And so doing that would have been really hard to, also be in Florida and working during it. Um, so I left at the original program end date. I did not extend it at all. Or I had 4 trips back to back, actually. I was traveling for about a month. I was going everywhere.
That's how you should.
um
Good stuff.
yeah, I was like I went all over the place. Came here to, see campus. That was one of them. Hmm. Um, mhm. I'm trying to think, what in the world did I? Mhm. But yeah, so a lot of people do extend, and quite a few people end up going part-time or full-time and just staying. That happens, I don't want to say rarely, but more often than you'd think.
They just kind of parlay the college program into
A full-time job and
part-time
switch
and then
to doing
full-time.
college classes online. Hmm.
Interesting.
So that's not super rare, but it's definitely not one of the most common outcomes. Hmm.
Hmm.
I said a lot of people do end up extending. This I would have liked to, but due to having a bunch of travel planned, it would have been infeasible to.
Yeah. And you also kind of got to look at like the big picture. Like, are you
Yeah.
doing this for like the experience, but you're
Mhm.
not necessarily going into a field where
Yeah,
like you're
exactly.
not in the theme park field. You're kind of just getting a little life experience for a semester, but you
Hmm.
want to go into like, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a teacher.
Hmm.
Like this isn't your end goal. It's just to
Yeah.
get some experience that's going to maybe feed into helping you with the experience into
Hmm.
another field. I mean, I think that's also like, you got to be careful of that because obviously this would be super fun for everybody, but you gotta because like it's the same thing. Like when I worked at Space Camp, like this is the best place to teach in the whole wide world, but it just wasn't feasible to teach down there because like you didn't make as much as like I made.
Hmm.
It wasn't a full time gig; it was a part time gig over the summer. But man, like the facility, like I was teaching with a full size space shuttle. I had the simulators, and I mean, like it was the
Hmm.
greatest classroom in the history of the world. The astronauts pass through every week. I mean, real astronauts.
Wow.
I mean, it was the greatest thing in the world.
Hmm.
But like did I wanna stay when the summer ended? Yes, but I had to come back home because,
Hmm.
I had a salary
Yeah.
job, all those things, but I bet it's super tempting for everybody to just wanna stay and stay and stay
Yeah.
though. But I guess you gotta kinda be, like, just make that decision at the end, like, am I gonna go into theme park? Because like, you've got a goal, like, and you're, pursuing it at the highest level, so is that
Yeah.
kind of but I mean, you're going and getting a PhD, and I think this is something that because you're gonna dive into this, and I guess like what is your goal with your degree with this? Like how
Mhm.
do you use that? Like kind of like what's the end goal here?
Mhm. Yeah, so staying at touring plans is, a hopeful. Um, I've also kind of looked at the Disney industrial engineering department a little bit, or just some different theme park related math. I know there are definitely different companies which have a few people who do that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I just look at, I've like shifted gears as I've gotten a little bit older, right? I've seen it from like the younger part. Now I see it as like a parent. Like, I just want to, like go down and get the experience. And if it, you know, if this is something you super enjoy, then you really got to go at it like you are, like at the, but you got to go get the
Hmm.
education, you finish it out,
Yeah.
like be the best of the best. But
Hmm.
you just gotta, I love the way you're doing it. Like your dad has to be so proud because you've always graduated at the highest level from every school that you've been in, and you're just accelerating through your education. And I mean, you're going to change the world. I mean, I have no doubt. And I love that you're doing this in the theme parks because this is my passion. Your dad's
Hmm.
passion. It's our audience's passion. So, and I love that you gave us a peek behind the curtain. Like this is because I learned so much today. But as we wrap up here, because we're just about out of time, like give a couple maybe tips or thoughts for folks that are considering this. I mean, is there any like things to that maybe would surprise somebody follow
Hmm.
applying to the college program, or maybe something that they might enjoy that they don't
Hmm.
even think about, so just a couple tips.
Yeah, so I'll just give like I'd say a general. People either love it or hate it, and it depends on your role and your roommates. Those tend to be the make or break things for people. Um, I'd say definitely just take advantage of everything around you and spend time in the parks, like explore, do the things that you haven't before. Like, but yeah, like one day I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go to Magic Kingdom and I am only going to do everything you can do in Liberty Square.
Nice.
And just the random things like that, like I said, try different restaurants while you're there with the discount because you get 20% discount on things and it's sometimes 40% at some restaurants. So definitely try all the restaurants, especially don't sleep on Cast Connections.
Yeah.
Go often because things change all the time. I definitely missed out on some things that I had my eye on, such as the Dino Land arcade or carnival prizes and even old costumes which are being like replaced come in there. And so one day they had the First Order officer costume from Rise of the Resistance. And I
Oh,
think I
they even
was
had those in Cast Connections.
or
Oh,
they had the cast costume which
oh,
was being like recycled in the property control part of it.
oh my
And
gosh.
they sold out pretty much instantly, like
Yeah.
I bought so many random things there just because it was there that day. Like I got just this $5 jacket one day and did a little digging and was like, "Oh, well, this jacket that like I bought for a potential part of a costume later on is actually one of the waiter jackets at the like princess restaurant on the cruise line." And I was like,
No
okay.
way. I
Yeah,
love
I was
that.
like,
Oh my
and it
gosh.
was $5. I was like, well, this can be put into some, I don't know, prince costume. I don't
Yeah,
know. And
man.
yeah, it turns out it's a waiter's jacket from the cruise line. Like,
But
I
it's
was
got
like, I can't.
history, like, I love
Yeah, it
stuff like that
does.
because, like,
Hmm.
I love anything like that because, like, I love anything that's, like, it's been there, right? Like,
Hmm.
that jacket, this is just how my brain works, like, that jacket's been on, 100 voyages of the
Oh
Disney
yeah.
Magic, like, I
Hmm.
I like, I was like, when I look at the jacket, I would think that, like, it's been on 100
Hmm.
voyages of the Disney Dream or the fantasy or whatever, like, that's cool,
Hmm.
like, I couldn't, and that's why my wife and I get in arguments because she's like, "You don't need junk." I'm like, "But that jacket's been on 100 voyages of the Disney
Oh
Magic.
yeah.
Who cares?"
I'm
I'm like,
definitely on your side. Your side. I definitely. We
"That
have.
can't be
I
right."
bought so many things, and we have so many random things at home. Oh.
You're wearing that jacket. It's been on 100 voyages. So who
Yeah.
cares? Is it on you? No, it doesn't matter. No, I'd be in there
Mhm.
stocking that place every time. That's great advice, though. But I mean, the funny thing is, the two things you mentioned, like your role and your roommates, both
Mhm.
things you really don't have much control over, though.
You don't. And that's definitely part of it is that whenever you do it or whenever you apply, you don't know what you're getting into. Because, like, I know that I had a roommate who was only there for about a month and she hated her role. And she ended up dropping out of the program after, I don't know, it was maybe only 3 weeks. Like, she was not there for very long. Hmm. Yeah, it's like some people love it, some people some hate it. Oh, but also, if you are in a role that you don't like, a lot of people can pick up shifts other places, places that have the same training. Mhm. But so Beaches and Cream is considered a specialty training resort quick service location. And so occasionally you will be deployed, and which means that another location is short staffed and they need people. And so I was actually deployed to Everything Pop for a week, and I hated it there.
Really? I see. I think you'd love it there. Okay. What would you
It
hate
was,
about it?
I was bussing tables for 3 hours at a time, and there was a position in the walk-in cooler that they had me do quite a bit.
Oh my god.
And
Did you have
yeah,
to? Did you have to do the hustle?
that is concierge.
Oh, the so you don't go out there and have to do the hustle every 30 minutes or whatever that is.
No, no. I think it's the concierge does. That's
Okay.
part of it.
Okay.
I knew
Thank you.
someone who was concierge at Pop. Um, Concierge Pop. Um, mhm, um, um, but also like there's the different training required. So if you work in the parks, you can normally pick up that same position at a resort. But if you work at a resort, you are not allowed to pick up at all in the parks because there's different training that you need.
Now, see, I kind of see that because
Mhm.
there's probably more safety involved with people in the
Yeah.
parks. Like, I wouldn't want somebody that's like a resort person, like, pushing the button on Space Mountain or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I want somebody that knows what's
Mhm.
going
And
on there.
so, and also, Beaches and Cream is considered a specialty training location. And so that means that no one else can pick up at Beaches and Cream. Mhm.
That keeps you back in
Mhm.
demand.
Yeah, we are. Mhm, um, um, but also because of that, we didn't have kind of random people there, so the cast there is very close knit too. Mhm.
Very cool.
Mhm.
I It's loud in there though, since they
It is
expanded it.
very loud in there.
That tile, I know this isn't your problem.
Yep.
Scott and the is both. When they made it bigger, I know that like you remember when it was smaller, like
I
they
actually never went when it was
you know,
small.
you didn't go when it was smaller?
No, my first time there was, I think, Epcot 40.
Oh, okay. Well, so it
Yeah.
used to be a little bit smaller and
Yeah,
they
it
expanded
used
it
to
as part of
be
the arcade.
like
Yeah.
a third of the
Mhm.
size it is now.
Yep, and it was, a cozy little thing. I mean, it was near impossible to get in there then, but,
Yeah.
it's still pretty tough, but it's a lot
Mhm.
easier now, but, God, place is lot I mean, it's
It,
okay,
it,
like,
it
it's
is really loud.
fine,
And I'll
but there's
say the
the acoustic.
jukebox
It's
actually does play music,
I
and you
think
can
I'm
hear
loud
it
in
when
here.
it's quieter.
Yeah, it's just but it's that tile floor, it's just the acoustics of that place are just
It is
woo!
very loud in there. Very loud.
I can't
Mhm.
be there all the time. Well, Ella, this has been so much
Mhm.
fun. And one last question. I gotta ask you this too,
Yeah.
because I'm curious. So you're obviously a huge Disney fan. You're gonna get a kick out of it because you're
Mhm.
gonna enjoy all the aspects of like seeing behind the curtain, like being a part of
Yeah.
the magic, creating the magic for the guests. Did you find that the other people that you came across on the program, like what were the percentage of folks that were kind of like us, that were big Disney fans compared to people that were
Mhm.
just going down
There.
there and they didn't
Yeah.
have any idea of like Disney history. They were just
Mhm.
there for that. They didn't know what they were getting into. Like what's that
Mhm.
spread?
I don't know overall, but there are definitely a lot of people who do love the parks. But there are a lot more people than I imagined who have never been before.
That's wild. I was wondering about that.
But like some people are Disneyland people, and there's no college program out there anymore. So they go to Florida and they've just never been to Disney World before. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I met quite a few people like that, and then, but yeah, there are some who have just never been before, and probably that's maybe a little more in the uh mm, sorry, on the yeah, wow.
You're good.
Man, on the man, international program, because people over there probably have been to the parks a lot less likely than people who live closer.
That makes
Promise.
sense. That totally, yeah. I mean, that would totally make sense. But I was just wondering
Mhm,
because, I mean, obviously, if you're a huge Disney fan, you're gonna be drawn to it. But I mean, I was like, there
mhm,
has to be a few people that are just like, "Yep,
yeah.
a recruiter came to my campus. I thought this was a good
Oh,
idea. Oh man,
mhm,
I thought Walt Disney World was in Anaheim, and here I am in Florida. Like
yeah.
going through tradition,
That.
what's going on?
Mhm,
Like here I
yeah.
am.
Mhm. Yeah, that definitely happens. It's not super common, but it does happen.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so crazy. But then you have to befriend that person and be like, okay,
Yeah.
there's 4 theme parks.
Mhm,
Epcot's where you're gonna go to get the good food.
mhm,
Have to take care of
mhm,
that person. Hope that
mhm,
you gotta hope that they land with their roommate of yours so that they can have a good program. That's what it
mhm.
turns out to be. Well, Ella, thank you so much and happy Thanksgiving to you. And are you gonna get to see your dad? This is make Are you gonna see your dad for Thanksgiving? Is
I
he
am
coming
going
out?
home for Thanksgiving. Yep.
Oh, good. That's good. Okay.
Mhm,
That makes me happy. I was like, you guys need to see each other for Thanksgiving. I was worried because you're in North Carolina. Okay, good. Okay, good. That makes me super happy. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for giving us a great thing to listen to here over the Thanksgiving week as folks are traveling. This is perfect to take along. And I'm just glad we're friends and I can't wait to talk to you again. So hope to see you in the parks here soon.
yeah, hopefully. I might be down there for a few weeks in May with Furman University, potentially. Potentially.
Nice. I'll try to be there. We'll see. I'm trying because that's during World's Cheer, and I'm going to try to take Mallory down. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
it's the end of May is when that is, and I might be down there with them.
All right. We'll have to connect. Well, I appreciate it. Ella, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Thanks for
All
having
right.
me on.
Anytime. All right. Don't forget the show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney vacation for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link as you start doing all that holiday shopping this week. Just click through our link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the all-stars that keep the show on the air. Thank you so very much to you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you at patreon.com/be our guest podcast. Don't forget, you can follow us on the social media at Be Our Guest Mike. That's on Instagram, x.com, and Threads. You can also join us in our Discord server. That's called the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse. It's free. It's fun. It's for everybody. Your invitation is waiting right now. You just got to go to beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. And we'll have the live call-in show this Sunday night. Yes, we'll still do it on the holiday weekend. Even on my birthday weekend, we'll have some fun. We'll open up the phone line. Scotty G, he won't be there because he's getting on the Disney Dream. He's going on a cruise, but I'll be there and I'll need your phone calls. So join us. It'll be he might be back. I can't keep track of when these shows come out. But hey, either way, give us a call. We'll have a good time. It's Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. We'll be waiting for your call. All right, jumping out of here. Get that Thanksgiving week rolling. We'll be back again on Wednesday with your listener questions. Drop a question, Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. Until then, for Ella, out in North Carolina via Arkansas. I'm Mike here in Missouri. Got to say it. MIZ. We're getting out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Don't give me a pig suey.
Big Zooey. Big Zooey.
You got it in before I hit stop. You got it in right before I tried to hit stop on the recording and you said Big Zoo. I thought you give me a woo pig or something. I was like, I'm hitting stop, I'm hitting stop. You got it in right before I hit stop. It's on there.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
too funny. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much for the great show. That was too good.
Yep.
Hey, John, good to see you, buddy. John
Yeah.
Pelkey's over there, and your dad I see on Instagram because you can't see the Instagram. I can see everybody else, but over on Instagram, John Pelkey's over there. Your dad, of course. A
And
Disney
I can
said hi,
I can
Ella.
jump in the clubhouse if for a little bit if people have questions and stuff.
That'd be cool. I got to edit this real quick because again, like I said, Paige's basketball team's playing her old boss, Wisconsin against UIC. They scheduled them to come to their house. Now, will they beat a Big Ten team? Probably not. But she's playing her old
Maybe.
boss. We'll see. I
Nice.
know. I text her. I said, give them some smoke tonight.
Mhm.
They're probably going to get some smoke, but we'll see. All right. I got to give her a text. Well, Ella, I appreciate you. And tell your dad I said hey. And again, happy Thanksgiving. I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
All right. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you guys. I'll see you guys on Sunday night, everybody. Bye.